Authority forecast from meteorologist Amber Wheeler.
Hurricane Milton is now just below a Category 2 right now with wind speeds of 90 miles per hour. It is moving to the east at about 7 miles per hour. It's been meandering, as you can see here, for the last day or so. Now it's headed to the east and headed in the direction that we've expected. We do have a buoy that's been picking up on some wind gusts up to about 57 at times. So certainly seeing those winds really getting going, and the satellite view here really showing this starting to come together. It'll probably start to carve out an eye at some point through the day tomorrow. Now, I also think that this will probably be a Category 2 at some point tomorrow morning, if not overnight tonight, and then a Cat 3 through the day tomorrow. So we're talking a rapidly intensifying storm. This is looking at 7 p.m. tomorrow at 1:25, and then rapidly intensifying to a Cat 4 as it makes its way towards Florida. Now, it could make landfall anywhere between Naples and even north of Tampa here. Now, we are looking at this as possibly making landfall as a Category 4. National Hurricane Center saying this could start to weaken on approach, but it's still going to be a major hurricane doing catastrophic damage, and possibly the wind field could expand as it moves inland as well. So we're really watching all through this area. Sarasota tonight, really hunkering down and making plans, because you can see the solutions where we could see landfall. There's not really one area of clusters. There's a lot of different possibilities. This black line is where the National Hurricane Center, where their official center line is. It's moving right through Sarasota. I just had a meeting tonight with our sister station's chief meteorologist there. He just finished boarding up his house and is now getting ready for several days worth of storm coverage. And you can see why. They've got rain here out before that storm, so they're going to be waterlogged before Milton even arrives. But notice this cold front that's going to fall over us. That is ushering in dry air, but that is also sweeping Milton into Florida. So unfortunately, what's protecting us is what's pushing Milton into Florida as potentially a Cat 4 or a Cat 3, but regardless, a major hurricane when it makes landfall at some point on Wednesday. It could bring in a little bit of dry air. You can see the models picking up on that here, where the south side could pull in a little dry air, and that could be helping to weaken it on approach. But regardless, that is going to be a very dangerous storm. And it's got a lot of rain before it. You can see anywhere between 3 and 6 inches before this storm arrives. And then once it arrives, wherever it makes landfall, it could drag in an additional several more inches. We're talking the potential of over a foot of rain. So the entire peninsula of Florida is under a flood watch at this point. Now, for us, with that front moving through, we're talking really dry conditions. So heading into tomorrow, highs back into the upper 80s again. So dry, even though it's a cold front, it's not going to cool us down. We're talking just really dry conditions, upper 80s to around 90 tomorrow. But your morning temperatures, that's when you're going to start feeling the difference here. A lot of 60s as we head into your Tuesday morning. Highs on Tuesday back into the mid 80s. Mid 80s is where we typically are going to be this time of year. But take a look at the morning lows for north and west of the lake. We could see some upper 50s for a lot of folks north and west of the lake here Wednesday through the rest of the weekend, or the rest of the weekend to the weekend. On the South Shore, could see some mid to upper 60s. This will feel like spring, or what we felt in spring here as we are heading deeper into fall. Right now, mostly into the 70s to around 80, and it looks like we're going to keep that breezy feel for the next few days as we have Milton to our south. And you can see it's pretty windy over the water, and it's going to stay that way for the next few days. Wave heights right now 4 and 5 feet. That's going to stick around tomorrow. And because of that persistent wind, we've got this coastal flood advisory that's been issued until Tuesday morning. Already seeing high tides running at about a foot and a half above normal tides. So here's your forecast for the next week. Back into those 80s every day. Your morning lows are going to be a lot cooler than what you've been used to over the last several weeks here, the last several months really, but a lot of sunshine and not a lot of rain. And your forecast, if you're out on the water, small craft advisory for the next few days, the water not settling down anytime